Good evening. Welcome to the 1927 Club podcast. Hope everybody is well. I'm not sure how many people tuning in tonight managed to watch the game this afternoon, but myself and Mr. Rhys David Evans, who's joining me this evening, managed to watch it. Good evening, Rhys. How are you?
Not bad. All good. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, buddy. All excited, like a kid on Christmas Eve tonight.
But we'll tomorrow, yeah?
Holiday tomorrow, yes.
Lovely.
So, yeah.
Scouting trip, is it?
So, yeah, something like that.
That's a Spanish quality to sign.
Yeah, it's just I planned it a fortnight too late, really. If I'd done it a couple of weeks earlier, I could have watched the boys out in Spain. But we're restricted to our holidays because obviously the wife works in a school, so it's her fault. I should have just booked it. Me and Josh could have gone a couple of weeks earlier.
Exactly.
But no, all good. So yeah, evening to everybody who's tuning in. I know there's been a lot of lives this week, so we're only going to be short and sharp this evening. We did say that the other night, mind, and we ended up talking for an hour and 15 minutes. So that's credit, obviously, to you guys in the chat and putting comments and things like that. Obviously, without you guys getting involved and interacting, me and Rhys are just going to be here talking shit to each other for an hour. But, yeah, happy days. So we'll jump straight into it. But what did you think of the game today?
First half, I thought it was standing. I know Jeff disagreed earlier, but I thought the narrow pitch suited us today. I thought every time the QPR got on the ball, it helped us. We closed them down, we pressed them, caused them to panic, made them make mistakes. We made the pitch really small for them. And when we got on the ball, it just seemed to work for us. I thought the wide men stayed wide and offered something going forward. I thought the ball in over the top of the defenders and in behind the full-backs, run onto space, was brilliant. We just looked comfortable, and Ruben just finding pockets of space everywhere beneath. And
I think with Ruben's goal, I think I put a comment in the WhatsApp group earlier. I think a number of times last season, he probably got in those positions to shoot, but perhaps was a little bit reluctant, or perhaps didn't have the confidence to do it. So it's nice to see, because it was a great finish. Fair play to him, and yeah, I totally agree with you. He's come into pre-season and he's hit the ground running. He looks more physical. He's putting it about a bit. Like you said, he's finding them holes and just linking up well. I think that's been a real positive for me during pre-season, really.
Yeah, I think as well. Like we keep saying it. Last year, you had El Ghazi, was always offside and stuff. I don't think he utilised the wide players around him enough. But again, today now you just see them feeding Isaac Davis, Tana. You can see him looking for them for the run. I just think
here's a question for you then, right? So obviously we've noticed since BBM have come in, like you mentioned earlier, our wider men are staying wider. Now, last year we talked a number of times about our wide men, coming back in or stopping when they got so far up the pitch, and we was like, are they being coached there? Do you think that's answered our question now with BBM coming in? Do you think, or has he just come in and given them a new lease of life and more confidence to stay wide and attack down them touchlines?
I don't know if it's a coaching thing, because again, you see Willock do it quite often. I thought Willock Willock had probably one of his best games for Cardiff 3. I thought he linked up well on the left-hand side, but you do see him do it quite often. He'd cut back onto his right because he's more comfortable there. I think we've got to get our players in natural positions. If you're left-footed, go on the left wing. Beat the man to put the ball in the box. But yeah, it's just good to see wide players staying wide again. It's with pace as well, get on behind the defenders. Ruben can put the ball into space here, and you can run on the end of it, and all of a sudden you're through. Do you know what I mean? I just think something we've lacked for so long. I mean, it was just good to see players staying wide for once because I'm sick of calling for all the time. Like last season, the ball would go to the fullbacks would be a width. They look forward. Our two wide men were attacked inside. There's no option to pass to, so we lose the ball. But today there was someone in front of them in space calling for it, which was just brilliant to see.
Yeah. I'm going to read through the started lineup. So if anybody didn't catch it, I know the highlights are on the Cardiff City TV. But the starting side for the first half was Turner, Capaccio, Lola, Chambers, Bagan, Turnbull, Wintle, Ruben, Tanner, Davis, Robinson. Have I missed someone out there? I think I have 1, 2. No, I haven't. You put Chambers down twice or so. You're trying to fucking play with my head, isn't it?
A big one, sorry. No, I asked a big wrong as well.
That's all right. We forgive you, but many people wouldn't, but I do. But was you surprised with any of the players who started today's game? Obviously, there's another game Saturday. I know the WhatsApp group was slightly concerned that the likes of Will Fish was missing. Yes, but Darland was missing. There was no real centre-backs on the bench, was it really? Although we've never been afraid. There's, obviously Joel can fit there. And we've got a couple of other players who can slot there should we need him to. Do you think, obviously, I haven't heard of any injuries. Do you think he's just held a couple back, perhaps, for Saturday?
Again, we've got quite a bloated squad in certain areas, so I think it's about making sure everyone's up to match fitness, and that means rotation, unfortunately, for some. So I was a bit surprised to see Turner in goals. I thought we might see 45 minutes from Horvath, 45 minutes from Arnick. Good to see Arnick back, though, and on the bench. That was great to see. Hopefully, like I said earlier, I guess minutes on the weekend, because we desperately need him back. But other than that, no, I wasn't really surprised. Baker looks comfortable left back, but again, he can slot in the centre half if needed. Eli King came on the second half and dropped in the centre half. So I think it was a case as well, and of just rotating players to see other positions they can play. So I wasn't too surprised or anything today.
Yeah. I was quite glad to see Turner in goals, really. I think, obviously, with the Horvath situation, and nothing personal against him, I just don't think he's up to the level that we want him to be at, really. And that's nothing against him as a person. So I was glad to see Turner have a go, because if I'm honest, I haven't really seen that much of Matt Turner. He's going to be a legend for me now after what he done after we beat the Jacks, man. So as far as I'm concerned, yeah, he can start every game. He'd be the first one on the team sheet. But no, jokes aside, it was nice to see him get a run out, because I know he did have a run out in Spain, but he had a clash of heads and he come off, I think.
Yeah.
So it's good to see him get some minutes, because, again, I know we got 3 keepers at the moment, and obviously there's younger ones in Jake Dennis in the 21s, but I would imagine they'll be rotated quite a bit with the League Cup games and that Virtue Cup or whatever it's called. So nice to see him get some minutes.
Well, most teams play with 3 keepers now. They always have your number 1, your experienced number 2, and your youngster in the 3rd. Like the last few years, we had Roland Luthra, who was our youngster. So it's just good to see the youngsters getting minutes now and be part of the first team plans. Because again, for the development, that's going to be outstanding, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Before I dive into the comments and try and catch up on them, how did you think the partnership between Dylan Lola and Callum Chambers went today?
Okay, I thought the narrow pitch, like I said, the narrow pitch helped because again it was tighter, it was more compact. It allowed, with Wintle sitting in front of him as the 6, I thought it allowed him to read the game in front of him a bit more and be a bit more defensive. I think that really helped. I'm still not comfortable with the idea of Chambers being my starting centre half, though. I think he looks better in midfield. And then, if I'm thinking of him in midfield, though, I think we need to look at a lot better because I don't think he's good enough for the midfield. Yeah. So I'd rather see Fish and Lola give it a go. If I'm honest, I think very young, bit of more mobility, bit of youth there.
Do you think BBM is maybe thinking of just the experience with Dylan Lola? If I'm honest, what's the saying? If you're good enough, you're old enough type of thing. And I've had no concerns around Dylan Lawler. You expect him to make the odd mistake because he's so young.
Yeah.
But I think, he's grabbed the opportunity with both hands during pre-season for me and fully deserves... if he's not in the starting side for Peterborough, I'd be very, very surprised.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, it's only a pre-season. I've seen us have shocking performances pre-season, of fantastic seasons. It's all about getting fitness in the legs and making sure the players are learning the style of football. And you can see there's a difference in style of football compared to last year. I mean, full-backs are pushing on. The wide men are staying wide and looking to get beyond the full-back. Ruben's actually picking up little pockets of space along that, the space in between the midfield and defence. There's clearly differences there. There's a few things we still need to work on. I think that was evident today. There's a lot we need to work. Not a lot, but there's a few things we got to work on. But I wouldn't say I wouldn't think we're too far off the finished article, if I'm honest.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you've listened to Ruben's after-match interview, but I think he mentioned there about some of the conditioning and things they've been doing during pre-season, and I think that's been pretty evident, really, with the pressing. I think you mentioned, I'm not sure if you mentioned it before we come on live or on the WhatsApp chat, that like last season when we was pressing perhaps individually, but that high energy and the pressing throughout pre-season, I think, has been top draw, hasn't it?
Yeah, again, the press has been something we've lacked for so long now. I mean, I'm trying to think the last good time I've seen us press a team. I think it was Coventry about 2 years ago. We beat them 3-2. I think Ted scored maybe 2 goals, and the goals came from us pressing defenders, put them under pressure, then making mistakes, and us winning the ball back. And we've seen it. I think last year you've seen Siopis was a trigger man for the press. He'd go, then others would follow. But if he didn't go, no one else would step up to it. Today, every single player, they all were the trigger for the press. Once one went, they all went. And it wasn't just one player. It was a rotation in which one went. And I thought it was brilliant to see. And, you're not going to get that for 90 minutes every game, every week. But there's going to be teams that are going to try and take the game to us. And we need to be able to press them, put them under pressure, cause mistakes, take the ball off them, and then punish them for it. So it's great seeing that.
Yeah, 100%. Right, before the comments get ridiculous, because they are building up, let's dive into them. I'll start right at the very beginning, so you'll have to bear with me. Give us time to catch up. Good evening, Steve. Hope you're well, mate. Thanks for tuning in. Suze is in the house. Good evening, Suze. Hope you're well. Paul says, evening, lads. Hope you're both well. Have a great holiday. Cheers, buddy. The fan of the wide pitch, Mr. Jeff Dela Cruz, he's in the house. Bob Bank 27. Bok birds. There's one thing we're not going to talk about tonight, and I'm not even going to say any more about it. We leave all that to Simon because he's having all the followers, everybody tuning in for Simon. So we leave Simon take that over. Steve Davis, evening. Mr. Parry, nice to see you back again, buddy. Lewis Watt says, really exciting performance today, very impressed. Yeah, and let's be fair, they're a championship outfit. I think they may struggle this year, if I'm completely honest with you. And you don't want to see any team struggle, but I got a funny feeling they might have a tough season this year, QPR. I don't know what, and it's difficult because we've only watched one game today. But there weren't any players there really, I thought, stood out for me in the QPR side, really. I thought we dealt with everyone pretty well, to be fair.
Yeah, I think they keep pulling off a good few saves. That's what it really, isn't it? But again, for them, it might just be a run out for them, get some fitness in the legs. So I thought we looked really good with the ball and off the ball. More importantly, we looked a lot better as a unit off the ball.
Has the pace of passing increased for you, do you think? We're getting
accuracy. The accuracy for starters. I mean, how many times did we see, before today's pre-season, the other games we've had, some of the passing has been sloppy, poorly timed, not enough power on the pass or too much power on the pass. Today, I thought it was a lot crisper. It was a lot more precise and a lot more effective. And I think it's going to be something they've been working on because I think if he come in, start at the end of the last season, he's seen some of the passing, he'd have been fuming, it was schoolboy stuff, some of the errors we're making with the ball on the feet. So,
question I go for you, because I know it's one of your pet hates, and it didn't happen a lot today, but it happened. short corners and things. I know it riles you up. But why do we do it? Do we do it so we pulling their players away from the box to try and?
Well,
I don't get it. Why we just don't try and deliver that ball in, and because it happened at one point today, and I think I put a message straight in the WhatsApp group. So they played a shot to Willock, I think, or Ruben, and lost the ball, and the ball's gone. So it's an opportunity gone straight away, innit?
It's frustrating. I mean, we do it all the time. We get the ball for a corner, take a shot, and pass it along the outside of the box. All the bodies in the box. Put a ball in there. If it gets a deflection, it could come out. It could come in the corner. You could have a shot to goal. You could have an header. Anything can happen. You're less likely to get hit on the counter if you put the ball in the box and you've got bodies in the box. If you're passing it, you make one mistake with that pass, bang, counter, goal. It's so frustrating with the set pieces. Like, honest to God. And we've been poor from them for years now. Let's be honest. We struggle to beat the first man, so we resort to passing it now short.
Yeah, agree with you there. Evening, everyone. Hope everyone is feeling positive with the something over talks on positive performance. I'm not mentioning Jonathan. Do you know what I'll feel positive about is if the club release the figures for season tickets and we've hit like 14, 15,000.
Yeah,
I haven't seen anything released since it was like 11,000. I know somebody mentioned, I think it was yourself mentioned it was 12,000, but I haven't seen anything official from the club. I think
it was for 12,000 on the weekend. I think it was. They're expecting just under 14,000 last time I read, which is again great numbers for League One. And let's be honest, I seen St Johnstone up in Scotland tweet the other day. We've been relegated, but we've got 3,000 season tickets sold. How brilliant is that? And you think, in perspective, fantastic for us. Like.
Yeah, no sign of any new players yet. Nothing's been filtered down through the grapevine today, Steve. So nothing to share with you, I'm afraid. Sai's got all the contacts, unfortunately, and sometimes he don't like sharing, Rhys, do he?
No.
He likes to have the glory and release everything. And
takes the credit. 1927 Club, his number one show, and he takes credit for it, doesn't he? He put us together.
Yes, Lewis, completely agree with you, but nice to see Robbo back. If we can keep him and Saleh, they're going to be massive. Agree there, but
some nice movement off the ball from Robbo as well, straight in the box. Like he was
worked hard, like you said, closing down and that as well, didn't he?
A few times he'd run forward, the defender would fall him, and he'd just stop and just take a yard back, and all of a sudden he'd have a bit of space he would for the shot. So great awareness from Tree.
If you want to look at positive transfers-wise, Luton and Plymouth lost a lot of key players. We lost Reno and O'Dowda. That were regulars, that's it. Yeah, you could argue there's probably a couple of others. Jeff Dela Cruz, Tanner was glued to the touchline. Sue says, BBM ball is certainly having a great effect. Wouldn't believe these are same players as last season. Arguably going into the season with two of our best strikers in the league. If kept Ruben, proving doubters wrong, I think that should be. Mark Cox, good evening. Hope you're well, buddy. GD Parry says, Anis will never like BBM because he's not Everett. Yeah, I'm not getting into slanging matches. Try and keep that off the chat if we can. We like to be civil. Not saying you're not GD Parry, but yeah, it's not a... Keep that for the WhatsApp group if you need to. Josh, go and get me a drink, bud. Please. Paul says, BB, given Ruben license to have a go. Personally, I think other managers have held his game back. BBM has worked his magic. He's going to be huge for us this season. 100% agree with that. Couldn't have put that better myself.
Ruben doesn't need to do a lot of defensive work. Just give him the free roll, like Rambo had for us, a few times. The free roll on our 10, just drift and wander, and pick up pockets of space, get the ball, and then get us into play, and he'll be outstanding. But we just got to make sure now that other opposition teams are going to target him now. And the good thing is he looks like he's bulked up a bit, beefed up a bit. Hopefully he takes into the season now. No injuries.
He's married now, and his missus is cooking all his food when he gets home from training, man.
Well, we hope so.
I was going to say something else then, but it's completely gone. But I'm sure it'll come back to me. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Not good evening, Howell. I will say good evening, Howell, but I just remembered what I was going to say. Lots of people have been talking about potentially Ruben being in the frame for the captaincy. Do you think that would potentially add more pressure to his game? Or is that something that if you don't try it, you're never going to know?
I'm split in this one. Some fans, section of our fan base, right, who love it when things go wrong and they love to put the blame on people. And I do worry if we do go through a bad patch, they will be blaming Ruben. Oh, he's the captain, it's all on him now, this is his fault. There's that. There's other players there who are more experienced and who think should be stepping up to leadership now, should be doing it. I don't know, I'm torn. It might be a case of giving the captaincy flourishes. I think only the gaffer can decide that. I think only he knows what's going on in that dressing room. He'll see who the leaders are and hopefully he picks the right one.
Yeah. What an achievement that would be, though, if the manager did give it to him. Like Cardiff, born and bred, come up through the ranks. He'd be absolutely buzzing, I would imagine, wouldn't he?
Like everyone's dreaming. Let's be honest, he's living our dream to be captain. If he gets a captaincy for your boyhood club. But yeah, it's just one of those. I think we do need leaders into the door, mine. I think that's something we do need. And if you get 2 or 3 leaders in, maybe they can huddle around him, and if he is the captain, and they can support him and help him and do the stuff that normal leaders do. So again, it's
another player with people have mixed opinions on is Mr. Ryan Wintle. But I thought he had another solid performance again today, to be honest. And I think we've, during pre-season, we've looked a better team when he's there in the middle.
Yeah, the balance, it's more balanced than when you got an 8 and a 6, because as 8 goes forward, the 6 will drop deeper and cover sport. I mean, Spurs did it perfectly years ago with Davids and Carrick. One would go forward, one would drop deeper and just protect the back 4. And we've seen it today, like I said earlier, the narrow pitch meant when he dropped deeper, it wasn't much ground to cover. He could see what's ahead of him, what the threats were, and read out, stamp it out. I thought Wintle was solid as a 6. I still like to improve in that area. I don't know how he'd be for the season. He's had issues before, so I still think we need a proper 6. But the balance looks like it's getting there.
Yeah, no, I agree, but JT, good evening, my friend. He said the bench looks weak. Starting 11 today won't be far off. That plays against Peterborough. Yeah, I think we said a little bit earlier. I don't know if you joined from the beginning, but obviously there was a couple of people missing from the bench. But I think personally that's probably with a view to them having game time against Notts County on Saturday. To be fair. Sue says so many positives. Especially Ruben's goal.
Yep.
Jonathan says it's hard to believe these players haven't been able to close down in numbers or string 2 passes together the past few seasons. Look at them now with proper coaching. It's a fair comment, John.
It's wild, isn't it? I think these professionals and they struggle to make 5-yard passes and stuff or cross the ball in the box. They can't beat the first man. It's been pathetic, but it's glad to see things have been worked on. Yeah.
Jeff said we look like the championship team today. QPR looked shell-shocked most of the game. Yeah, but fair play to them. They did come back into it, didn't they? They had a chance towards the end. They could have nicked it, I suppose. But this goes to show you can't rest on your laurels, can you? That would have done us good, really, to realise, we've got to be able to see games out as well. Going 2-0 up. If that was a league game today, you would have come away from there fuming, really, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Having
been 2-0 up and potentially could have had a couple more. They, like you said earlier, their keeper made a couple of chances. But to come away from it 2-2, like you said, you've got to take the positives from it. They'll learn from that, I think. And hopefully it'll put us in good stead. Sarah Davis, welcome back again. Nice to have you in the chat. Paul says QPR's goals came down Bagan's side. Not saying he's at fault. We had the same problem last year with O'Dowda. Hopefully a problem solved. The better the players gets used to the system.
I think it didn't help, but because Bagan went so far forward, that's where the 6 usually steps out a bit more. I'm not sure if Wintle would go off at this point as well. But normally the 6 would see the left back going forward and sort of slot in to cover that sort of side to stop the counter. But it's just one of those things to work on. I mean, it's in a friendly, your full-backs go so far forward, they wouldn't do in a normal league game. So I'm not too concerned, if I'm honest with that.
Jeff Delacruz says Chambers was superb today and Lola was different class. Yeah, he's definitely showing what he's worth, Jeff, and he. Lewis Watts also says, I think Chambers will be captain. He's going to play a lot at centre-back. Rhys is going to have nightmares now, Lewis, because you said that. Mark Cox, yeah, there's a question I was going to ask as well. Anyone else think Alex Robinson's going to leave? Now, again, I don't know if he's picked up a niggle or anything, but obviously wasn't involved today, was he? It'll be interesting to see if he's in the squad come Saturday. If he's not in the squad come Saturday, then I would have serious concerns that he's likely to move on. But from what I've seen so far, do I want him to go? No, I don't. Would I be disappointed? I don't think I would lose sleep over it.
It depends. Let's be honest. We've got a 30%, 35% sell-on clause to Man City. So unless we're getting a decent fee for him, let him go anywhere.
Yeah. So,
but again, it could be injury, it could be a fitness thing. He might need extended time off. We don't know what's going on. So hopefully, it's nothing too serious.
Gavla, Lola was quality today. Sign him up ASAP. Yeah, something we've been crying out on the channel for weeks now, ever since pre-season. And you don't want to put pressure on the young man, but he's been outstanding, hasn't he? Absolutely outstanding.
But then he's been great. Don't get me wrong, he's been good, right? But if I'm Dylan Lawler now, I'm probably saying, am I even going to play? If he sees Chambers as a centre half, he's got Fish, he's going to compete with, who we've bought and who's playing there. We spent a few million on Darland. Is he going to play him there? I'd be saying, look, am I going to play or not? If I'm not playing, let me go. Get some money in for me now. And that's not me saying we should sell him, but if I was Dylan Lawler, I'm saying, look, you either let me play or let me go. And right now, if he is starting Chambers, then there's only one spot open. So,
for me though, he's the first one on the team sheet for me at the moment as it stands, and obviously we don't get to pick the team. It's just our opinion and our opinion only. But for me, he's a young man with a good old head on his shoulders, isn't he?
Yeah, and for me, like I said, it would be him officially my centre back pairing.
Yeah. Paul says, good evening to Sarah. Sav is back in. Best game Chambers has had at centre back, although perhaps because he didn't really have to deal with many direct aerial balls. Yeah, it's a fair comment. I don't think they offered much aerial threat today, QPR today.
No.
Jamie, good evening, buddy. League One is going to be awesome, but remember, it's really the old Division 3. So my only worry is our players getting kicked all over the park. So I hope some extra players come in that BBM chooses. Sav says, Mark Cox, I think Robertson will play 90 on Saturday like Ruben did today. We shall see. Bob Bank, don't sleep on Tanner. Look good, just needs to improve end product. Again, he can obviously use his right foot. We've seen him use his right foot again, but he's another one who likes to cut back in and whip our use his left foot as well, isn't he?
Yeah, and is he, honest question now, is he the starting lineup for you now, first game of the season on the wing?
No, I'd have Ashford there, but again, we haven't seen him today.
I think Ashford comes on second half. Ashford would be on the wing for me, and Isaac Davis, I think, the pace either side, I'd probably have Isaac Davis on the wing. I mean, Tanner would be on the bench for me, and so would Willock, and I still think we need to strengthen on the wing as well. I still think we need a bit of pace there for Mons too.
Yeah. Goal, yet again, came down our left-hand side to new left back is priority. Says Bob Bank. Board and BBM don't see any need for urgency. Obviously, they're working with the guys day in, day out. Jeff says, wider pitch the better. There was a bit of controversy, and it was all amicable in the WhatsApp group earlier. But Rhys and Jeff were at loggerheads. Rhys seems to think the shorter pitch would suit us better, like it did today.
Away from home, I thought the narrow pitch again, because it's going to be games where we're not going to be, running 90 minutes with the ball, trying to beat defenders. We're going to be more technical with the ball. I think that does suit us a bit on a narrow pitch because we did get behind the defence a bit more easier. Players like Willock were more effective. Ruba was more effective. The number 6 is a bit more effective. The press is effective. And again, we're going to be playing teams like Port Vale, Wimbledon. They're going to have smaller pitches. It's going to be, they're going to try and make the pitch as small as possible, and we got to get used to playing like that. And if we only play one way, then we're going to struggle with me, really. I just think at home
we've got to be able to adapt, Rhys, haven't we? We've got to be able to adapt. Half-time oranges. QPR apparently strikerless, so surprised to hear they snatched a 2-2 draw. John Watkins, good evening, buddy. Controversial. If Lola doesn't want to sign, should we sell and get a sell-on clause rather than lose for nothing next year? Because he's underage, how does it work? If he was to move on a free, are we entitled to compensation?
Only if he goes to a club in English leagues, we get compensation. If he goes to a club out of England, we get nothing. The same thing happened with Adam Matthews, Joe Ledley, because he went to Scotland, they did. So we got no compensation whatsoever. And because he's out of contract in the summer, it means he's free to talk to clubs outside of England in January. So come January the 1st, he could potentially sign a contract for any club outside of England, and we wouldn't see a penny. And he wouldn't join them till the summer, but effectively he's agreed to go. Yes. So again, it's poor from the club to let it get this far down the road. I mean, when you consider, like, we give Ateti a 2-year contract, loaned him out to League One, and it was an absolute failure. And you're thinking, we've got a defender now who's got some absolute value to him. He's got potential. He looks good, and we've let it run down this bad. I mean, it's mind blowing who's in charge of these things.
Yeah. GD Parry says the last 2 years too much passing to opposition because we didn't look up to pick our man. Yeah, fair comment. Can't argue with that. This is one thing I noticed today as well. Great to see BBM coaching them all game. He was non-stop on the sideline. Yeah, there was no technical area today, was it? He was up and down that touchline with a ball in his hand, feeding the ball back onto the field. I really like that when you've got a manager who's, what's the word I'm looking for, expresses himself on the sideline then. And I'm warming to him quite a lot, to be fair.
Again, you can't fault him. If he's doing what he can do, and he's trying to get the players to do what he wants them to do. So I'm all for it.
Yeah. GD Parry says, good coach never stops coaching. Too often, Rhys and Bullet would be stood with hands in pockets looking bored. Glad you mentioned this, John, because we haven't mentioned it yet. Wintle had a dodgy offside goal ruled out. Their second looked offside. They certainly had help, even in a friendly. Yeah, I think it was 2-1, and it potentially could have been 3-1. I think we probably would have run away with it then, to be fair. Jamie says, last season, QPR was so magnolia. We went down instead of them on a coaching problem, technically, like other teams around us, just outfoxed Reza. We were thinking promotion last season, lol. Yeah, I mean, Rhys did as well, but to be fair.
So we did.
Here's some information from Gavlar. Apparently, 13,250 was the last count, I believe. So I don't know how accurate that is, but that's positive if that is the number. Obviously, we're still a week and a bit away from the first game, which I'm missing, which I'm gutted.
I'm missing because of work.
Yeah, me and Josh will be watching it in a bar in Spain, but when we... Yeah, boy. Jonathan says they announced 12,000 about a month ago. I suspect the number jumps quite a bit if something happens. I would imagine it would.
Again, it's good numbers, let's be honest. It is good numbers. It should be better. Could be better, but for where we are.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that earlier. Bob Bank, Robbo pressed brilliantly today. Wasn't on his own, was he? Let's be fair. Get your season tickets now, because soon there's going to be a waiting list. Cardiff are on the app. Lewis Watts, he doesn't seem to like Robinson, does he? I don't know. I suppose he's managing the players through pre-season. I don't know. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he plays a full 90 come Saturday.
Yeah, again, it might be a case of he's in talks to leave him, maybe, and then the manager's looking at trying to see what he can do without him. It might be a case of he's just not quite 100% fit yet, or he picked up a little knock somewhere, and he's, most players, they're never 100%. They're always like 70%. They have a little knock, a little niggle, and he still plays through it. Maybe he's just going through that. We're not too sure, but Saturday now might be a different thing. Like,
gone are the days now where somebody used to run on with a bucket of water and a magic sponge and a bit of deep heat. Those days are long gone, aren't they?
Magic spray, just a bit of cold aerosol, isn't it?
Jeff Delacruz says short corners will be used more and more this year. More controlled use of the ball and pull defences out of position. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think this is a point you've made, Rhys, over the last 12 months since we've been doing the 1927 club end, is the fact that there's no movement in the box when we do have free kicks or corners. It is quite what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. They're just shocking, Josh is. Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, the problem we got with the short corners, right, and you see it all the time. Two things happen. One, we take a shot and we immediately cross it, and you're thinking, what was the point of that? You've not really put anyone in a position. You've pulled another one of our players out of the box, that would have been in there, and you've pulled one defender out. Other than that, there's no benefit there. Or we'll pass it, and we'll pass it along the back four, the back line. So we'll go from, like you see now, from the left-hand side all the way to the right-hand side, and we'll pass it back again. Now, you haven't got to have big lumpers in the box now to get on the end of things. You just need movement. I mean, put the ball in the box. If it's in the box, you give yourself half a chance to score. That's what we need. I mean, underneath Warnock, how many times do we score from set pieces? Like, granted, we had two big lumpers at the back and stuff. But it's not about having that. It's about having movement off the ball in the box. If you've got movement off the ball, you're dragging defenders out of position then you are. So, I just don't understand it. I think set pieces, we've been so poor for so long. I just hope it's something they're working on.
Yeah. Phil Jones says, I see O'Dowda scored the other day for his new team. Best of luck to him. 100% agree with you, Phil. I was gutted, really. He went, to be honest. Again, he's another one who's had... there's a lot of mixed opinions on, but I thought he was one of our best players last year, to be honest. A lot of people would probably argue that case, but I thought he'd done a job. He was, some games he was the only person out there who looked as if he was trying to play the game. Like,
gutted to see him go, but well done. He's playing in Europe now, I think, and he so I could be happier for him if that's the case.
Yeah. John Watkins says, Ruben is a big lad for someone with his skill set. He will be a real handful in League One. Agreed. Halftime Orange says, I don't think Ruben needs any pressure at all on him. Just the pressure of proving everyone wrong this season. That's a fair comment, buddy. Jamie says, lads, can you do a poll, but in a captain or have a current squad member as a captain? What we'll do is we'll get Evan, James, to see if he can do it on the Discord. I'm not sure how to do a poll on you when we're live. Josh has got his hand up saying, I know. But we'll get Evan James to put it on Discord. For all members of Cardiff City World, you would have had access to one of the new apps that Evan's created for the members. So we'll get a poll put out on there. So leave that one with me, Jim. I'll have a chat with Evan a little bit later.
I know. Was it the terrorist take? Is that what you call it now? That's on tomorrow. I think we're signing it. And so I probably see if we can get it on there as well.
Yeah, there we go. Happy days. Someone said the Jacks lost to Cheltenham 2-1. They must have played Snoop Dogg in goal. I didn't like talking about them at the best of times, so we'll fuck that one right off. Excuse my French. It is past the watershed and I'm on holiday, so it's all right.
Don't forget, they're out there when you're out there, so make sure you drink towels.
Josh has got his Cardiff City towel.
Good, brilliant.
Mark Cox says Turnbull was decent again today. Going raspberries, Josh. Bob Bank 27 says set piece goals got us promoted under Warnock. Hugely vital source of goals. I didn't see any sort of plan on the short corners. Only real negative from today.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that.
John Watkins says Wintle has come back ready to motor. He deserves a second chance and could be a real player in League One. And I think if he keeps delivering the performances he has, John, I think a lot of Cardiff fans will probably forgive and forget. Obviously, there's some hardcore ones perhaps that he did upset, and perhaps it will take a bit more getting over. But for me, if he comes in and he shows that desire to put that shirt on and keep up the performances, then I'm happy for him to be there.
Exactly, yeah.
Phil says, best if Ruben concentrated on his own game rather than the team as captain. Yeah, it's a big call. To be fair, I don't... Perhaps he's in him one day, but perhaps it's a little bit too soon. Is there still open training next Monday? There is, Monday the 28th. The tickets are free. You can go on the Cardiff City website and order the tickets. You can have them digitally, I think. I know the last couple of times I've gone, I don't think they even bother checking, do they?
We went last year, didn't we? And it was just a case of like, just show a bit of paper. They don't care. Go on in. Yeah. But you have to do it through the club site, though. You have to go as if you're buying a ticket and do it that way. You can't just show up. You can't.
What's your view on the disallowed Wintle goal? I thought the line was too far behind to call. Difficult one, really, because you didn't really see many replays. Well, I didn't see many replays. So difficult. Gavlar says Robertson was on the bench today, apparently. I didn't see the bench, if I'm completely honest, because it took me a couple of minutes. I missed the first couple of minutes of the game, so I didn't get to see any of the announcements and that. Trying to find the stream on my legal Fire Stick. Rhys says, get it, bloody kids, missed 27 minutes. You can always go back, Rhys. You can always rewind and watch our ugly mugs again. Right, guys. I said it's only going to be short and sweet, but we're 45 minutes and there's still loads of comments to go through. So I'm just going to continue going through the comments and, we'll see where we get to. Paul says we're definitely in the need for a pacey left winger. I think we're okay on the right. Willock isn't a winger. He's a player that plays others in or pass through. Do you see Willock potentially then being a kind of backup to Ruben this season?
I see him as a 10, but Callum Robinson was playing so deep last year as the 9. He looked like a false 9, did a job at 10. And you'll probably see him play as a 10 instead of Willock. I think you might see Robertson play as a 10 as well in some games if needed. I don't think Willock is close to starting as a 10. I don't think he's a backup for the 10. I just don't see him on the wing. I think he's a 10. That's the problem. It's just a strange signing. And it's one of those where if you can move him on, bring someone else in on the out the wide, a proper winger, I'd be happy. And that's nothing against him. It's just you've got better players in the position he needs to play at.
Yeah, agreed. Jeff Delacruz says, what percentage of goals do you reckon are scored from corners? Well, hardly any from Cardiff.
Under Warnock, I'd say quite a load under Warnock. But again, I get more. And look at Arsenal, they set pieces. How good were their corners last year, to be fair to them? Or because they had movement off the ball and defenders didn't know how to defend it. Sheffield Wednesday
somebody like Declan Rice who can whip a ball in.
Exactly. Sheffield Wednesday last year, I think the only chance they had was that free kick, that corner, wasn't it? And all of a sudden, they were all had runners. We had no idea what was going on. They scored from it. We have corners, and we just stood like statues. As soon as someone goes the other the keeper drops to the floor, the ref flows up. It's just too predictable.
Rhys goes on to say, Ruben is cooking this season. He looks so hungry. 2 goals and 4 assists. Should have been 5 if the Wintle goal wasn't disallowed. all in 120 minutes of football because the last 2 outings were only 45 minutes. Let's have a little look. If he continues in similar vein, Rhys says, into the league, then I'd imagine his numbers are going to improve massively this season in terms of goals and assists. Yeah, can't say I disagree with any of that. GD Parry says it's still time and window doesn't shut until the end of August. Time for BBM to see who is going to pull weight and then replace. Yeah, 100%. Well, we're still 5 weeks, is it? Just over 5 weeks. So lots can happen in that space of time. Sav says, I appreciate the short corners are frustrating, but in fairness, until we play or sign any centre-backs above 6 foot, we simply aren't going to be a threat to teams, especially when Salic isn't on the pitch. Yeah, again, that's a fair point, Sav. Paul agrees with that as well. Jamie says, don't know why the comments taking a while to come up tonight. I think that should be Lola is on other clubs' radars. Surely his agent is chirping in his ear, so it's got to be 50-50. Again, if he's a Cardiff boy, I can't see him wanting to go anywhere. If I was his agent, I'd be knocking on doors in that Cardiff City Stadium every day. I guess one of those, when you as a footballer, you always want to test yourself against the biggest and the best. Like we heard there was a club from Austria, I think it was, coming from him, made an inquiry with him a few months back. Again, as a footballer, you're thinking it's a new challenge, new environment. I could go to Austria, flourish, and make a name for myself. Like I've seen English players go to Germany, for example, and go on to do wonderful things. Why can't I do that? So again, I'd be asking, if I'm not going to play, let me go. If I was him, I'd be saying that anyway. Yeah. Ian, good evening, buddy. Get me to next Saturday already. Spoon's breakfast and a 3-0 win, please drive. Yep, we'll take that. Rhys says Robertson just doesn't look the same player he did. John Watkins says ticket sales show that the fans are getting behind the club and BBM. They deserve a good season. We bloody do, John. You're right. Callum O'Dowd leaving has opened the door for Bagan. I think he's grabbing this opportunity with both hands. I like Bagan, I do. I think it was the season before he went out on loan, he scored like 3 goals in 2 games, I think. Josh made up a song, you know. Was it Coventry? Bagan scored 3 in a week. He captain say his Coventry and put it in the bottom corner, I think it was. But again, at the time, I wasn't a huge fan because I thought he looked quite weak defensively. That loan move has absolutely done wonders for him. He's gone out there, he's come back a better player, his reading of the game is better. I think today at one point, the right winger went down the outside and he just shielded the ball out to play. And it's things like that he wouldn't have done before, but now he's maturing and you can see he's a lot better for that loan. Like. Yeah. Jamie says, Cardiff are also top of the championship with all points combined since Cardiff have been in the championship. Unbelievable. Cardiff City till I die. I don't know why there's no home pre-season games. Yeah, something we have discussed on the channel over the last few weeks and through pre-season, but I don't know if there's work being done on the pitch. But even last season we had games at Leckwith, didn't we, that we were able to go and watch, and it's just been a bit frustrating as a fan, I suppose, having to watch it on the telly, really. But I suppose still we've been able to watch something. But yeah, totally get your frustration, buddy. You're not on your own. Rhys Lasky says, to be honest, playing it short from a corner just helps retain the ball, all by design, so not a worry for me. Howell says, glad we haven't sold many from last season. Hopefully the pain of relegation will push the boys on. Rhys says, Chris did go on the middle. Sorry, Chris did go on the outside a few times today. Yeah, there was some lovely 1-2s. That's what I said earlier with the narrow pitch. I think it suited him because he couldn't drift now. He couldn't come inside because it had been too cramped. So he was forced to stay wide, and Ruben found him a lot better, and Bagan found him a lot easier. Yeah. I think that's going back to one of the percentage questions. Under bullet, about 90%. Macanish says, who's standing in for Matt? I'm not 100% sure. I know Evan James, I know Rob's away this week as well, so I think Simon might have his work cut out. Unless you're volunteering to put your hand up, if you are, put a comment in the members chat and in the WhatsApp group, and I'm sure Simon will appreciate any help. The more people you can get involved, the better. And at times like this, it obviously helps. But I might tune in when I'm in Spain. Just don't tell anyone. I'm just going to the toilet a minute. Rhys says, we haven't got too many senior players as it stands. Who people having on their backs this year, if that's what you're into?
Names on shirts, it means. I want name on my shirt.
Yeah, I got you. Talking about shirts, what was your opinion on that shirt today?
I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't understand it. It's lime. I'm not sure. I don't get the appeal of it. I'm confused by it, if I'm honest.
It just threw. I didn't think the players had numbers on their back at the one point when I first tuned in, because you couldn't work out any numbers, could you? Because they were white. But whether that was just a camera from the stream, I don't know. But I just thought perhaps they should have had like a black outline on it, perhaps.
Have we unveiled a third kit yet?
I'm not sure.
Because I know normally it's normally a home kit, away kit, and a third one.
Potentially have. I can't really remember.
I'm looking at just blue and green.
I think I've missed a comment from Jeff. He says we should loan Robertson to a championship side, get him back next year when we are back there. That's not a bad shout. As long as we've got a recall clause on it. Jeff says, by the way, the pitch, has had to be out of action as they are widening it. I'm not sure if that's a dig at Rhys. Rhys wants to play wide at home, mind. It's just narrow when we're away.
Again, I mean, thinking back to last year, playing wide, I mean, how many times did Barry Bannon run through a mid-land challenge because our players are too wide? And I just think, again, I don't know. We need more players in. We can't play on a wide pitch without extra pace coming in and more mobility.
Jamie says, did we miss a couple of grown adults in the squad today, as the average age is about 6? A very young side out there, but I think obviously for the long run, I think that's only going to benefit us, getting those guys minutes on the field. Are these questions ever going to end? I don't think they are tonight. Did we miss a couple of? Yeah, we've had that one. Bob Bag 27 says, disgusting with the white numbers. Yeah, couldn't agree more, but couldn't agree more.
Dark green short. Well, it's I don't get it. It's
apparently the third kit is orange, according to Mark Cox.
I haven't seen the third kit.
No, not too sure. Apparently, Bob Banks says the club is too tight to get one colour on the shorts and another for the shirt. Rhys seems to think, well, he wonders if it is a pitch issue. Don't think there's been many concerts there through the summer, have it? I don't think if there's been any. So it'll be interesting. Paul says, Rhys is Billy Big Bollocks at this hosting lark now. Why ain't he doing it? On he not on number one show. On he, don't know.
On the number one show, I think he meant.
Number one show. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, Rhys needs to step up now. Step up to the plate. Take over the hosting duties. He's more than capable of doing it. Jamie says the third kit is tan out colours, Riverside. I wish. Oh, you are. Here's another good shout from Macinesh. Maybe Algorithm will stand in for Matt.
I generally think he's a Swansea fan. He's got to be a Swansea fan, let's be honest, Algorithm.
Bob Banks 27 says, thoughts on King at centre-back. My personal opinion, I want players playing in their preferred roles. If we got someone to step there if there's an injury during the game, then fair enough. I don't see him as an out-and-out centre-back, to be honest. I don't know what your thoughts are.
I like you, I'd rather see players in the natural positions. I think we got punished far too much last year because we had players out of position all the time. But I thought he did a good job of centre half today. I thought he was calm on the ball. Receiving the ball under pressure. Didn't panic. Played it well. Looked strong. I thought he did a decent job. No complaints for him today, to be fair.
Yeah, it's nice to see that we've got players who are able to step in and slot into positions that perhaps are not as familiar to them. But just, going back to what I said, I think I'd prefer players like I know Reno done it last year and stepped into right back and he was outstanding. Again, another player who could have got player of the season for me. Has he signed for a club? Have you heard anything about him? Have he signed anywhere?
Not that I'm aware of. I haven't heard nothing. I don't think I've heard nothing anyway.
Wasn't there some circus or fun fair there? Yeah, there was a circus there from about August till about end of March, beginning of April, I think. No, jokes aside, there was a circus, but it was outside of the ground.
It was January, wasn't it? They came, they got pumped 3-0, and they went home in the caravans.
Jamie says Paul's on the Carlin. I think there's only one guy that we know who likes drinking that.
Rob.
Yeah, you got it, Josh. Rhys says maybe they're just temporary numbers during pre-season. I don't know. I think obviously the squad they weren't playing in. Were they playing in their normal numbers today?
No, Ruben was about 5 when he. I think.
Yeah, that's right.
They're not playing the normal numbers, but trying to get one. Hopefully, there's a black colouring on the back with the name and number rather than just the white, because the white and the lime green sort of thing doesn't go, does it?
Yeah. Maybe the kits aren't ready or something daft. I hope so, because hard to see otherwise. Yeah, maybe like the green colour. Perhaps they could just have that green outline in the numbers, like so it to stand out a little bit. Algorithm really wants to team up with Rhys. Brilliant. Fun fairs, always far side car park. Okay, the big question out of 10, lads. How happy are you so far? I'd say I'm a 7 out of 10. 7, 8 out of 10.
I'm more excited than I'd say more excited than happy. It's the most excited I've been for a season in a good few years. I just can't wait for it to start. I'm buzzing for it. So I say I'm 10 out of 10 with excitement, like you will. 7 out of 10 happiness. I think we are missing 1 or 2 things. Again, it's nothing too big.
Yeah, agree. Jonathan says the circus has been at Cardiff for about 14 years. Hopefully it closes soon. Rhys says he's a solid 8.5, 9 out of 10. Genuinely excited. If we don't sign anyone, sod it, the youngsters are going to tear it up.
Yeah, I'm excited. I honestly can't wait.
Yeah, I'm the same. Just got to wait a little bit longer. What's our first home game? Is the Swindon one, isn't it?
Yeah, that'll be the cup game, I think, isn't it?
Obviously, I know Peterborough's the first game, but obviously me and Rhys are away for that. We can't make that one. But yeah, I think the Swindon game, the Port Vale game's on the 9th, isn't it?
Our 7th, though. That's a Thursday night, isn't it?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
The Swindon's on the 12th at home. Then we got Rotherham at home on the following on the Saturday, and that's our first home league game, will be.
Yeah. Bob Banks says Ruben might want to be the next Zinedine Zidane, wearing number 5. Rhys says hopefully. Enjoy your holiday, Matt and family. Yeah, I think I'm going to need an holiday after being away for 10 nights. I think I'll come back and I'll need another one, but minus the kids. Josh is going mad now. Bob Bank, he's had 3 the previous 2 games, so I do wonder whether he will stick to 27 or change to a random low number to be different. I think he'd probably stick to what he is. It's just, like I said, pre-season and people just wear random squad. Well, they don't wear their squad numbers, do they?
No, it's just
Matt Cox says, will Rhys be getting goalkeeper top with USA 1 on it to go with his beanie hat and his bucket hat and his goalkeeper gloves?
The full lot, is it?
Yeah, he'd be a full kit wanker. 7 out of 10 for Paul. Still room for improvement and players to add. It's looking positive for a change and the club should be applauded for doing something right. Yeah, so good comment there for me.
Yeah.
Mark says 7 out of 10 for him. Sav, I've only really thought about it today, but out of our entire squad, I give our possible starting lineup an 8 or 9. But one injury to Ruben and it drops a few points. Irreplaceable, really.
Yes, and I think
that's that's got to be looked at through the season now. And obviously, if we're winning games by 2-3 goals and Ruben's still on the pitch, have we got to be taking him off, thinking about the next game and things? I think, and that's what BBM's getting paid all that money to do. He's getting paid to, obviously, for the players to go out and play and put performances on, but to be able to manage that squad effectively as well.
Yeah, and I also think it's a case of other players to step up to the mark as well. It can't just be on Ruben to do it all. Other players are going to start showing it now. Do you mean? I mean, last year, a few of them were missing far too easy, and they hid behind others. So I think this year they've got to step up to the mark now, start showing what they can do. Again, it'd be criminal, right, if we put all the pressure and all the expectation to Ruben, and then other players skate through like.
Yeah. Rhys says, agree with that, Sav. Night and day at the moment when he's on the pitch. Pre-match day superstitions. Are you asking a question if anyone's got any pre-match day superstitions? I'm guessing that's what that is.
I wait 10 minutes. I just go for a pee before I go to my seat. That's all I do.
Don't relax versus posh until we're 5 up. That's a reminder from Suze. Well done, Suze. I think it's only you and Paul who've sent in your guesses so far. All 46 league games. Predict the results. So as it stands, you're head-to-head with Paul and obviously myself and Rhys as well. But get your predictions in if you're not sure where to send them. I'm not sure. Can you put the email address in the chat, Rhys? Have you got that from previously?
I can grab it out 2 seconds.
Top man.
Okay.
We're running a little competition, and obviously it's going to run throughout the season. You have to, by the Peterborough game, you have to send us all 46 league games predictions, and then obviously we'll have a little look through that as the season goes, and the one with the most points at the end will win a ticket to one of Si's free live events. So free ticket to a live event, maybe 2 tickets. See how generous we're feeling, or how generous Si is feeling. Mark says, if Ruben, Salic, etc. turn it on first few weeks, there'll be plenty of offers before the window closes. Sue says, game on, Paul. Oh, she's after you, Paul.
Has my comment come through yet? I have put in the live chat.
Rhys says, the club would be foolish to get rid of either if they have any ambitions on returning straight to the Championship. Money talks all recently, unfortunately. Both Ruben and Salic are replaceable for me. Chat Quiz Masters versus number 1 host team. Paul's showing the love tonight to us, isn't he? Fair play. Sav says, yep, Robertson can't get away with 6s every game. He needs to follow Ruben and have regular 7-8s at the very least. If he can't match that, I really don't see the point in keeping him. It's a fair comment.
My comment's not coming up, but I put in the private chat.
It's gone in the private chat. So
I've just checked the private chat. For some reason, it's not coming up with the live chat. I'm on YouTube as well on the side. You know. Check it in.
Let's have a little look. It's come up now, I think. There's 2 emails you can send it to, guys. The Ace. Oh, there's a couple of different ones. I think Simon will get them, and we just have to chase it up with Simon. And so I think Suze and Paul sent it to a different email address again. But you can send it to those 2. It's up to you how you do it. If you want to write it on a piece of paper and take screenshots and send it that way. If you want to do it on the notes sections on your phone, you can do it that way. If you want to be posh and do a spreadsheet like Rhys done, you can do it on Google Docs, Rhys, was it?
Google Sheets are typed, and it's like a free Excel it is. Let's use that.
Sorted. So, yeah, it's just a bit of fun and games and something also we can keep track on through the season. Rhys volunteered to keep track on it. So, well done, Rhys. And I know you haven't got access to the emails, but that's work in progress as well.
So, what? Yeah,
so the emails are up there, guys. If you do want to tune in and get involved with that, like I said, you are in for a chance of winning some tickets for a live event. Rhys says, right, we're going to wrap up literally in 2 minutes. Josh just reminded me that we was only doing half hour and we're an hour and 5 minutes in. Rhys says, but his performances do need to improve. He looks a yard slower to me. Maybe that's what it is. I think that's going back to Robertson. Jamie says, remember, we must show fight as well as good players. Opponents will feel like a game at the Wales home stadium is enough to give them a boost. So you've seen much fight, even though away friendlies. Sorry if I got lost reading that then. Mark Cox, you're right. Yeah, we're into Fergie time now, but you need to put it on end show comments. These will vanish. Yeah, I think we did it the other day, didn't we? And so for some reason, the comments vanished off the video.
Oh yeah, I put a comment up actually with an email address and it disappeared. Maybe that's what's going on now because I'm putting email addresses in on the live chat and it's not coming up on the side. It's not.
Yeah, I'm just going to copy it again. So what I would suggest, guys, if there's many of you watching and want to get involved, take a screenshot of the email. There's 3 emails in total that you can send it to, and all 3 have been posted in the chat. So if you can screenshot, they're great. If you're in the members WhatsApp group and you haven't managed to screenshot it and you want to get involved, then just ask us and we'll post the email address in there. Phil Jones says that's easy. Played 46, won 46, drawn none, lost none, 450 against 70.
Someone watched our show today.
Jamie's on the pop as well, says Paul. Has Tasonda gone to Japan? There's rumours, mate, and at the moment that's all it is rumours for me. I haven't heard anything concrete. I don't know if you've heard anything, Rhys.
Again, it's just all rumours. Last time I seen he was off injured. Don't know how bad it was, if it's serious, if he's going. I haven't got a clue. Like it's one of those where a club doesn't like to announce anything today, let's be honest. So yeah, the fan engagement is not the best, is it? And to think, mind, they won an award in this season for fan engagement.
Fan engagement or something, wasn't it?
Ridiculous.
Jamie says, Paul, it's hard fitting in the correct number of words to actually chat properly.
I noticed that.
Paul laughs to that. Right, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much again for tuning in. Don't quite hit the numbers side us for a Wednesday night, but yeah, nearly 400 live watching, I think, at one point. So do really appreciate all your interaction with us. It does really help us out. Obviously, I'm going to be away now for a couple of weeks. Rhys is still going to be about, so you'll see his ugly mug. That's enough to keep everybody going. But yeah, thanks everyone. Rhys David Evans, always a pleasure. Never a chore, my friend. Top man.
Enjoyed all day.
On to Saturday, Notts County away.
Bring me back something nice.
No star power.
Rascal Beats.
For your Caesar. Cardiff City, ride with me for your Caesar.